Raider.
We back, baby. Welcome back to the Blue Ballers podcast. It's been some time, but we are back, and we've just got even more ground to cover, really. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk about the Leeds United game, which was
it has been a while. Like not just the Leeds United, but it's been a while because we've had like four huge games, 4 huge tests. Which obviously we haven't covered over the last month, but
including Champions League as well.
Including Champions League, the one we were all looking forward to. I think a lot of people wrote us off because Atletico is such a good team, but yeah, man, it's been such a good month, sort of thing. A lot of changes, a lot of things that are kind of getting done differently. But ultimately, like, it's been a really good month.
Yeah, definitely, and it's been good to see the players almost look revitalized. You know, have a new, they just look different. You know, to what was happening before Tuchel came in, and it's really good to see them play. I think they're enjoying the football as well.
Yeah, it's not been, for me, it's not been the best football that we've played. I think we played probably better football under Lampard at points, but I think certainly we look a lot better defensively. We look a lot stronger defensively. We look like we're not ready to give goals away cheaply like we were. But I think there's so much to work on in the final third. I think the movement and the passing and the overall goal scoring opportunities and goal scoring has to improve, obviously. But yeah, I mean, saying that, we come out of United, Liverpool, Atletico, Everton, Leeds today. Is that Tuchel calling right now? No.
So he's calling you up, and you're going to be above next week's.
I'm playing wing back.
Yeah.
I'm playing wing back next week. But yeah, man, it's the system obviously changed, which has been. Obviously, since the last time we did this, there's we were in 3-4-3, and we hadn't stopped playing 3-4-3 since, and it's been successful. We've got our points out of it, we've got our wins out of it, so can't really complain in it. But I don't know. I'm just not at the moment. I'm just not inspired by a lot of the attacking football that we're playing.
It's very frustrating to not see more goals. I think it's 13 goals in 12 matches.
I don't know what the stat is, but yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. So it's very frustrating, isn't it? And it's just coming back to the Leeds game. I think I just saw the first half an hour of the match where I felt that we may just score, but for the rest of it, it was less convincing in the final third.
I'm going to be a bit more kind of harsh, but I think that was like a horrible performance, horrible team selection. I think we got it wrong from the start. I think we allowed so much of what we've been doing good lately was the complete opposite of what we did today. I think being able to beat the press because we have three guys at the back that allowed us to play out from the back, allowed us to be more comfortable, find the extra man to pass back to sort of release the wide players, and none of that happened today. Today, it looked like a Frank Lampard performance while he was here during the end. And it was really concerning because I feel when you have a good rhythm, when you have a good team chemistry, you can't disrupt that. Like you can't. It was so solid defensively, and we were controlling possession, and the passing stats were so high, and players like Jorginho, Kovacic, and Kante and all that, like they were all racking up high stats, high performance levels. So I don't know why he tinkered with it today. I don't understand what he was trying to do.
I don't know if it was something to do with the intensity of Leeds, and maybe he's seen that and he's thought maybe a back four would be better suited to this
I
match.
get
But
that, but we've played Man United, we played Liverpool, we played Atletico, we played Everton. Out of those 4 games, we only drew one of those and we won the rest of them. Now, when you go against Liverpool, you're playing against, okay, fair enough, they don't have Van Dijk. You know, they're going to make every sort of people that, you know, kind of don't get it. Like they'll make every excuse for Liverpool, but the fact is we beat their press and we were effective in the final third, right? Bar a stupid offside call, we should have been up comfortably in the first half. And that is against the best pressing team in the Premier League. Now, against Leeds United, who we've played already, we should have known how to deal with them early. And I don't know why we needed to change the system to accommodate whatever threat they were posing. Because Leeds have not been great lately. So I don't know. I don't understand what we were scared about or what Tuchel had in mind about, like, you know, what threat they posed to what we were currently going through. And it was such a good rhythm, and I just fear that we've disrupted that now.
I see what you were saying. Yeah, the games against Liverpool and Man United and Atletico, in fact, I think the partnering that we had in the midfield, especially, it was really, really vital. You know, for going forward as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
so I think that was disrupted this match, because, as you said, when you have that back three defense, you have someone who can link up the play as well to the midfield.
I don't understand why he's done it. Like he's taken a perfectly capable team of holding onto the ball, creating chances. You know, like the wing backs were flying forward, the inside forwards were being productive, they were taking touches around the box. Like, why would you want to disrupt that? I don't care. Like, I mean, you're against Leeds United, you're not against flipping Barcelona. You know, like, where you have to change your tactics. It's like, this is what frustrates me about a lot of managers, is sometimes they're their own worst enemy. And I feel the same happened with Lamps, is that he was so good last year where he was changing the system like constantly, week in, week out. We would go 3 at the back, 2 at the back, 3 at the back, 2 at the back. And suddenly, you know, this season comes, he has all the players and he's gone really rigid with his system. And it makes no sense, like, why you would want to do that. And I understand, okay, tactically this can happen, that can happen, but you've managed to deal with several systems in the last few weeks. Like Everton are a different system, Atletico, Liverpool, United, they're all different systems. And we've won against each one of them, playing our own system, controlling possession. I don't understand what Leeds would have done or capable of doing that would have disrupted that if we were 3 at the back.
Well, in the second half, we switched to a 3 at the back. I think Pulisic, he changed Pulisic so that he was a right wing back.
It didn't make sense. Like I thought the same thing, but it wasn't fun. Like, I mean, I think it was probably in the last 20 minutes of the second half where we properly changed to a 3 at the back. And I don't know. I don't know. It was frustrating because, you know, you need to win the next few games that we have now, very winnable games. We should, you know, look to win every single one. And this was the first one that we should have really been looking to grab all 3 points. You know, the next 4 or 5 games are very winnable. But, you know, dropping points today, I think it was pointless. If you wanted to experiment in a game like West Brom or Fulham or something. Why are you experimenting against a high pressing side that you know are going to disrupt your build up? I'm worked up because it's games like this that at the end of the season, if you miss out on top 4, you'll regret it at the end.
Yeah, top 4 at all costs.
Yeah, I mean, it's only natural, isn't it? Like, you know, when you have, and I understand people are saying the clean sheets are great, and, you know, everything, when everything's great, you know, everyone's the best. You know, Tuchel's the best, and the players are the best. But if this result has now given inspiration to our next team that we're facing, Atletico, on Wednesday, it's going to be really damaging for the rest of the season. The confidence is going to be shot again. Like, players are not going to be able to perform, you know, up to standard and stuff. So I don't know. It's annoying because if we had done this like a few days earlier after Everton, I would have been buzzing because I was giving him props left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's frustrating that he's decided now to, you know, tinker with the team that was performing good enough to, you know, to win games, to win a game like this at least.
Yeah.
But what do you think of Kai Havertz, who was put up front as a striker? I think that's the first time he's been played that in that position.
Yeah, no, I think it was interesting. I think he played the position against Everton as well.
Wasn't he more of a false nine against Everton?
Yeah, and he was pretty much a false nine today as well. He was dropping a lot into the 10 position midfield and stuff. Yeah, man, I've always said that he's a good player up front. When he was at Leverkusen, that's where he was playing. That's where he was good. He scores goals, he makes assists. What Tuchel was doing for Havertz is really significant for the future because we're linked with Haaland, linked with Haaland, and Tammy's future is uncertain because of it. Werner's obviously now probably not seen as much as a striker by Tuchel. I don't know. It's really significant for what's to come because I feel attribute wise, Havertz has everything to play that position, and I've admired Firmino at Liverpool for quite a long time now because he plays that role really well. Like he sort of drops in from his position as a striker, allows Salah Mane to cut inside and sort of let them be the goal scorers. And I think Havertz has the attributes to do that for Werner, for Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Ziyech. Like he's technically so very good, and his touch is so good for a big man. He's even someone that can ghost into the box, which is what he did at Leverkusen. Is despite his height, he was able to get into the box so easily, find space, and score goals, make assists, and all that. So it'll be interesting to see how far this experiment goes because I'm a big fan of Haaland, but I think if we can get Havertz in this false nine position, scoring and making chances really well, I see no reason why we should go for Haaland, honestly.
Yeah, I was having those same thoughts as well after the Everton match because I saw him for the first time being played, as a false nine, and it really suits him. Just the attributes he has, I think he can do really well.
I think it's like having two players in one. You have a striker and you have a number 10, and I think if you have that capability of playing both positions as a forward player, like it's so valuable. And I'll say again, like I'm not going to complain if we get Haaland. I don't think we will because I think players, teams like City and Real Madrid are probably better positioned than us. We obviously have to offload as well because we can't keep Giroud and Tammy and Werner and Havertz obviously playing there. So it's going to be interesting to see how Tuchel sees it. Even if Tuchel is there next season, I don't know. It's such a short-term period that we're experiencing at the moment that whatever's happening is for the moment. I don't necessarily see it being a long-term thing. But yeah, man, I really like him up front, and I think watching him at Leverkusen, that's where he was probably at his best. Whenever you watch him, and you can watch his highlights, you can watch his individual performances. When he's up front, when he's going toe to toe with defenders, that's where he sort of uses his presence and his technique to take advantage of defenses and, like I said, score goals and make chances.
Yeah, and he looked like he was really close to scoring today as well. Even the Everton game, he was very close to it. What was it? The penalty that he won, even that offside goal, so it wasn't really counted. But that take and then the volley was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean it should have stood. The goal should have stood. But he's going to get loads more opportunities. I think he had a really good one today. That was basically 1v1 with a keeper, at the near post. But it's not just him. Obviously, it's part of a bigger problem is that our players just don't seem to score, and we are creating loads of chances. We're keeping the ball, and not just with Tuchel, but even like with Lampard, we were creating a lot of chances. We were dominating the ball. Maybe we were just more suspect with Lampard defensively, and that really hurt us. But it's good that we've locked up at the back. I think that's where my frustration with today's result being a draw against Leeds, it could have been easily a 1 or 2-0. But yeah, man, I don't know. He's a great player, Havertz. I want to see him, for our future. I think he's going to be a big part of our future. But yeah, be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, definitely. Would you start him in the same position against Atletico we have
Honestly,
next?
I'd start him in this position every single game until the end of the season.
Okay.
He's so talented, and then he gives us that height presence. I think with Tammy, he has the height. I just don't see him scoring as many headers as he should. I think
Right.
Reece puts in a lot of good balls. I think Chilwell's put in a few as well, but just Tammy doesn't make use of them. And I've seen Havertz doing. I mean, he scored a lot of headers in Germany, and I can see him doing the same at Chelsea. The only difference is obviously Havertz can drop in, and he's technically so good, very good enough to sort of become a link-up player as well, and distribute. And I don't see Tammy or Giroud that have that.
Yeah, and his highlights, for example, at Leverkusen, I've always seen him do those late run into the box, getting the goal with a head, something like that. That's brilliant.
He was really good at that.
Yeah. So hopefully we can see more of that. Hopefully I can see some more goals from Havertz because beautiful player.
Mm-hmm. Definitely,
yeah. So okay, that's Havertz. What about Pulisic? He got his first start today.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? You would think, when Tuchel came in, you would think that player that's worked with him before, player that gave him his start at Dortmund. Sorry, not a player, manager that gave him his start at Dortmund. You'd think Tuchel would be more comfortable playing him instead of Hudson-Odoi or Hakim Ziyech or whatever. So, it's been strange not seeing him play as much as we thought he would. And I sort of get it. I kind of get why he doesn't play as much in this system, in this team. I don't think he's given as much of a free role as maybe he would have liked, but I still think he was decent in the first half today. He created a couple of really good chances, beat his defender 1v1. But yeah, when I look at who I'd want in those positions, in those inside forward positions, I really like Hudson-Odoi, obviously. I think Mason Mount's the first name on the team sheet. I really like Timo Werner as well, and I know he's not been able to score, and not really gotten on the scoring charts like that this season. But he's such a threat with his pace that he's able to get behind the defenders so quickly, and I don't think we have any players like that. And Pulisic may be fast, but he hasn't got the sort of technical ability to retain the ball like Timo Werner. I don't know if that's true, but every time I see Pulisic on the ball, he's not very productive with it. And I'm not talking about last season, I'm talking about this season. He doesn't seem like he's looking to go for the goal. He's sort of getting out of difficult positions that he gets himself into. He sort of dribbles the ball into space and then doesn't really do much with it.
Yeah, I think last season it was very similar to Hazard. The way he would receive the ball, slow down the players around him, and then suddenly burst and twinkle toe around them.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He's definitely a 1v1 player. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So I think it's just Pulisic not at his best right now.
Yeah.
But do you think he has a place, a starting spot for him when he is in that best form?
Honestly, no. And
no.
There might be times where he comes into form and he's sort of unplayable. But for me, he's been very inconsistent. He's obviously had so many injuries in a short space of time, not really gotten his fitness up to level. And it shows in his football as well. I think he's really talented, and when he's on form and when he's fit, he's really talented. But I think it's unfair to players like Callum and Ziyech, who are available every single week, and they are performing at a decent level, very good level. I think Hudson-Odoi as a wing-back was really good. I enjoyed watching him. I don't know if how much more of an opportunity he'll get in that role. But I think he was really good today as well. He got a shot off today. Unfortunate not to get a goal, but when I look at Pulisic, I just feel we have better players right now, and that might change over time because obviously players come into form and go out of form, and then suddenly you look like an idiot. But I think Pulisic is one of those players. I mean, when you compare him to someone like Mason Mount, if Mason Mount goes out of form, I'm still picking Mason Mount because of what he provides the team.
Yeah, a lot high work rate and just so many different attributes that make him really, really talented young player.
He's just growing. His talent is only growing. He's developing at a very, very scary level. Where he's getting into most teams in the Premier League, and that's always a good sign. When you have players like that. I know a lot of the chat this season has been about Jack Grealish. Obviously, Phil Foden's come into form, and James Maddison is also come into form. But I think when you look at what Mason Mount provides a team, that it makes sense why Southgate picked him, why Lampard picked him, why Tuchel now picks him every single game, because he gives, he's so good in the final third. He's so good on the ball generally, but also what he does off the ball is a manager's dream, and it was part of why. For the longest time, Willian was not a fan favourite amongst a certain section of fans, but there's a reason why, every single manager at Chelsea had him consistently in their starting 11, except maybe Conte in his first year. But what these sort of players give to a team is, for a manager, it's a dream. So Mason Mount every day of the week on my team sheet, in form, out of form, whatever. But I can't say the same about Pulisic. I can't say the same about Callum. Even Ziyech to a point. I think Ziyech is sort of frustrating as well a bit because it's sort of getting found out how one-footed he is. And then when he's not on the ball, he looks sort of disinterested, not really interested in getting the ball back and creating chances or whatever. So I don't know. He makes like one or two good passes a game, and if they're not scored, he becomes quite useless, really.
Yeah, but then that's also the frustrating part of not scoring, because then any player, if the striker's not scoring, then any player who's providing it's gone to waste. So
I get that, but I'm saying I prefer having players who would give everything for 90 minutes in terms of pressing and creating chances and scoring goals. And I think Mason Mount is one of them. I think Callum can certainly become one of them. I don't see Pulisic as one of them right now because obviously he's not in form, but I can't see it with Ziyech. And I think he's a beautiful player. Like, what, I've already talked about him in the past, but I just feel with his age and with, his experiences, I was expecting a much better player than him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I think he had a really great start to the season. After he came back from injury and stuff, but
yeah,
it's really died down again.
Did we? Sometimes I wonder, did we actually expect too much from him? Is there a reason why he's 27, almost 28, I think, and no top European club had gone in for him? It's always worrying, isn't it? When you have to buy a 27, 28-year-old player from a team like Ajax, who, no disrespect to them, but they're not at the forefront of European clubs.
Right.
But why didn't Real Madrid go for him? Why didn't Barcelona, Bayern, Juve, PSG, United, City, any of these teams? None of them went for him. And we know how good he can be, but there's an element to his game that I think maybe a lot of scouts saw and they might have picked up on it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's just difficult because of the league. It's difficult. It's more difficult to compare.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you can have a look at his Champions League performances, and that's at a high level.
Yeah, but I find the Premier League and Champions League so different. I think what you have to do week in, week out, as opposed to, doing it once every 2 weeks. I think it makes such a difference, and I don't know. I think the best players and the most respected players are the ones that are able to do it on all levels.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Maybe there's just uncertainty whether he would be able to do it regularly, and that's why
I mean,
there hasn't been as much
in a positive
demand.
light, I can see him becoming a really good impact player, like an impact sub, where he comes on, after 60 or 70 minutes, and he's able to come and create 2, 3 really good chances from, like a diagonal or whatever he does. But over 90 minutes, like, I don't know, man. It's just not. It's not for me right now. I don't think. I think it was a lot
Right.
easier. It was a lot easier seeing him at Ajax when he was playing against these, I wouldn't say subpar defenses, but certainly not top defenders. Who that press all the time or whatever. So interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah. Alonso, your favorite.
I know.
So he's obviously come back.
He makes his comeback in it. Like it was so inevitable.
Right. It's a seasonal thing, I think, at this point.
He was just having a break, innit?
Yeah, he was on holiday, decided to come back, play a bit of football,
Bro,
take a leave again.
He's on holiday while the whole world is locked down.
That's Marcus Alonso for you.
Trust me. Yeah, man, I've been really disappointed with Chilwell. And I think he's a great player, but for me to say Marcus Alonso has been a lot better than Chilwell in the 3-4-3, it takes a lot, honestly.
I was expecting better attacking performances by Chilwell, but I haven't seen that.
I don't understand.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's. I mean, a left back that doesn't perform well as a wing back. I can't think of many of them.
I can understand that Alonso is taller, so he has that aerial threat. But Chilwell should be able to finish his chances.
No, but even just in general play, in general build up and stuff, like Chilwell just he doesn't look right. Like it doesn't look like he's fully aware of what's going on tactically. Like Alonso moves with the ball very slowly, granted, but he makes such clever runs and links play up on the left side so well. Like all the half spaces and the full spaces, like he's constantly on the move. Like he's never stopping. Defensively, okay, he's a bit suspect, but then so is Chilwell. I saw him kind of open up to Helder Costa today, and conceded quite a few chances from the left side. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Chilwell and Alonso?
I don't know. Alonso just seems like he's made for wing back, so he's gonna do it well. So left back, he doesn't have that defensive attribute to to perform that role. But Chilwell, he seems like it's like they've just got opposite. they've got the opposite qualities.
Yeah.
So Chilwell will perform well at left back, Alonso at left wing back, but they can't do both.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating because you want to see Chilwell be able to play that wing back role.
Mm-hmm.
But even in the match today where we're playing a back four, I just wasn't impressed by Chilwell.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite frustrating because I would hope for more creativity, more of a threat, just more of a threat in general from him.
Yeah. I think also, the system is one thing, but I think individually, Chilwell is definitely a better left back than a wing back. So it'll be interesting to see what Tuchel ends up with system wise, because obviously at PSG he hardly played three at the back. Dortmund he played three at the back quite frequently. and where that sort of leads his future. Because if he doesn't improve, and I know it's very harsh and puts a lot of pressure on him, but he knows this league very well. He's a player with proper experience internationally and at elite level. He's got Champions League experience now, so you'd think that he would learn a thing or two about how to play that role where he has more freedom going forward, but he has to improve technically and he has to become more intelligent with his running. Because he's a proper athlete. Like, he'll run for days. It's the 97th minute of a game, and that he's going to sprint down, bomb down that left side and have enough energy to come back as well. But he doesn't have the mind. He doesn't have the intelligence, the tactical intelligence to pull off that role at the moment, which I think Alonso does.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's... Obviously, Alonso played really well in that role under Conte, but he was obviously good at that at Fiorentina as well. I think he played the same system at Sunderland at some point. I think they played 5 at the back as well. So he's got that experience of how to play that role well. So, I think Chilwell's future is definitely at Chelsea, but he's going to have to improve, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the last guy I want to talk about was Christensen, because I think he's been given a real break, and I think he's made absolute most of it. And for me, I read an article the other day: is Christensen the best centre back in the world right now? So it sounds ridiculous, but I think when you look at what Ruben Dias is doing, John Stones, Emerick Laporte, obviously Van Dijk's not in the fold. Christensen is really he's improved so much.
Yeah,
I think, is that down to the system, or do you think that's just his ability that we've sort of underrated? What do you think it is?
He's a highly intelligent defender. Like, his positioning is spot on. Like, even in today's match, there was that early chance for Leeds where Patrick Bamford, made a run past the defenders, and I think Christensen, he noticed Bamford's run, and he took a step forwards so that he put him offside.
Yeah, I saw that.
He notices these things. He's very good at spotting these dangers, and I think that's what makes him very, very solid as a defender.
Yeah, and he's got a run in the team because Thiago Silva is out. Once Silva's fit again, do you see him coming straight back in the team and Christensen back on the bench? Like, what do you think should happen?
I think Christensen's in a good run, so I don't see why he should be taken off. I think they'll probably rotate. They'll probably rotate so that they aren't overused at the same.
It's tough, isn't it? Because I've been a big fan of Silva this season, and I think he's our best centre back. For me, he's top of the top of the list. Rudiger's obviously done really well. Aspie's obviously great as a right centre back in a back three. But Thiago Silva, when he's fit, for me, you play him every single game, no doubt about it. So whether that means Christensen then takes one of Rudiger's or Aspie's place, I don't know. I'd really like to see Christensen play it as an anchor, which he does for Denmark. Because every time I watch him and he's taking the ball forward, obviously he's the one to advance the ball because he's in the middle. But he has this really nice dummy on him where he can position his body one way to make a player think he's running a certain way, and then he switches it, in an instant, and he's off. Like, he's created space on the other side to run with the ball into. And I think when you see Busquets, and I'm not comparing him directly to Busquets, but that's what Busquets has, created a career out of, is body positioning and passing and ability to press and retain the ball. And I see so much of that in Christensen. And I think if it's coached properly into him, I don't think there's any reason why he can't pull off that role.
Yeah. But the big question is, do you think he is the best defender in the world?
No.
Yeah.
No, I think he's great. I think he's great, and I think he's definitely worth keeping. I would give him another contract. shout out to Tomori, because I think he's doing really well at Milan as well, and I want him to come back. I don't want them to buy him. You know, Christensen, Tomori, Silva, Rudiger.
He's got some heavy praise. He's got some heavy praise as well. Tomori.
Big time. Yeah, be interesting to see. Like I said, it's going to be. It's such a short term. Whatever we talk about is going to be so much about the short term rather than the long term, because we don't know what direction the club are pulling towards in the summer. You know, do we get someone else, or are we building Tuchel's team? Are we building our own team? You know, I don't know. It's so interesting to see how this is going to pan out.
Yeah, I mean, barring the decision making during the match, you can almost discount it. Whatever happens this season now, because you can say, this wasn't his first, full vision of the team.
I get that, but I think he's sort of he's built a platform for us to go and achieve top four. And I think if we don't get top four at this point, it's going to be a failed season. I don't think it will be about Tuchel only having said number of games. I think he has enough at this point to build. Mm-hmm. And I think today was a big mistake that he would the first sort of big mistake that I've seen him make with the team.
I think he's done it before, the Southampton match. I think that was, even he said it himself as well. That was his one of his regrets. So not the first time.
I mean, he bought off Hudson-Odoi early when he was a sub. He was the guy that was sort of creating chances, but obviously he didn't like his counter press and his sort of attitude on the pitch, in terms of pressing and stuff. So I don't know, man. It's such a. I find myself very excited, looking forward to watching Chelsea at the moment, but at the same time, it's like I just don't want to get too attached to it, because I know it can all change in an instant.
Yeah, very conflicted feelings.
Yeah, and I love Tuchel, and I love this team as well. I know that he's a guy that gets his team scoring a lot of goals, and that will be a lot of fun, obviously. But defensively, he's really tightened us up at the back, and that gives a lot of confidence to the players ahead, and the forward players to sort of feel comfortable going forward and scoring goals and of that sort.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to see. We've got Atletico next.
Yeah.
And then I think we haven't got too much of a tough set of fixtures after that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Sheffield and I can't remember right now, but
we've got some easy fixtures. After Atletico, we've got some easy fixtures. I think we've got the cup as well. So it should be a good few months ahead. The international break is going to be soon as well, so there'll be a little break in between, which might be good, which might refresh the guys. So interesting few weeks coming up, and man, hopefully we find some form and start winning games again.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can wrap it up then. And
when are we doing the next one, man? Are you going to make me wait another month?
No, we'll do it soon. Yeah.
Will we do it when we win the league?
Possibly after the Atletico.
The winning Champions League this year.
Yes, I think we will.
I
think we will.
If we win the Champions League this year, you're going to have to host every single show from now on.
Okay. No, I'm guessing that we are going to win it. So I get something for that.
Fair enough.
Win tells you.
That's our new bet, isn't it? Who's going to host? All right, mate. Nice one. We'll chat after the Atletico, hopefully.
Perfect.
Up the Chelsea.
All right.
Come on, you Blues.
Raider.